Hello students, now we will start with new topic, that is disaccharides. Disaccharides means compounds that are formed by fusion of two monomers of carbohydrate or two monosaccharides. Here we have few examples according to our NCERT, like one is maltose, sucrose and lactose. Maltose is made up of two glucose units. So we will write here glucose plus glucose. Glucose is a monosaccharide. Sucrose is made up of glucose plus fructose. Lactose is made up of one glucose molecule plus one galactose. Coming to first one, maltose. I previously told you that any type of carbohydrate is involved or existed in living organism's body only in ring form. So here we can frame out the two rings of glucose and represent how maltose molecule is existed. So one pyranose ring of glucose, it has carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, carbon 4, carbon 5 and carbon 6. I am now distributing or representing here all the hydroxyl and hydrogen atoms. For carbon 1, which is very near to the side by another glucose molecule, here we can represent hydrogen and hydrogen. Here also at carbon 4. There is OH group and hydrogen. So this is pyranose form, pyranose ring of glucose. This is also pyranose ring of glucose. Now, hydrogen and OH group at carbon 1 and carbon 4, they both are removed in the form of water, means here dehydration process has occurred, and in the next step, this part appears as this area where water molecule was lost, appears like this with one oxygen atom which is giving out a bond called as, because the two hydrogen and OH groups got removed only on one side, so we are telling alpha carbon 1, carbon 4 and the bond name is glycosidic bond. Glycosidic bond. Now, this glycosidic bond, when you are reading in chemistry point of view, you relate this one to covalent bond there. So here in case of maltose, it is made up of two glucose units and two glucose units are binded one with each other in pyranose ring form only. When they are binded one with each other, then at carbon 1 position, OH group, carbon 4 position, OH group, both are fused and hydrogen and OH of carbon will be removed in the form of water, then forms a bond between carbon 1 and carbon 4. That bond is termed as alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond. Here still we have at one pyranose ring form of glucose a free aldehyde group. So maltose, because of presence of free aldehyde group at one end, it is also called as reducing sugar. Maltose, because of having one free aldehyde group, it is also called as reducing sugar. So, these are the points that are related to maltose. Second example is glucose. Glucose, is sucrose. Sucrose is made up of glucose plus fructose. We know that glucose is existed in pyranose ring form. Fructose is existed in furanose ring form. Sucrose is also called as table sugar. Now, we will write the furanose ring form of fructose, and we have to represent the carbon numbers like carbon 2, carbon 3, carbon 4, carbon 5, and here one branch, that is carbon 6, here another branch, that is carbon 1. Here also we have one OH group. Now, we have to represent this one in this direction, carbon 5, carbon 6, carbon 4, carbon 3, carbon 2 and carbon 1, because this just got turned back, furanose ring form. Again here, the hydrogen and OH group of the pyranose ring form of glucose and furanose form of fructose. Here also there will be removal of one water molecule by the process of dehydration, and next the two monosaccharides are existed or arranged in this form. Carbon 2, carbon 3, carbon 4, carbon 5, carbon 6 and here carbon 1. Carbon 2, carbon 1, carbon 3, carbon 4, carbon 5 and carbon 6. This is the bond that is formed between carbon 1 of pyranose ring of glucose and carbon 2 of furanose form of fructose. So we give a term like alpha 1 2 glycosidic bond. In case of maltose, we have seen alpha 1 4 glycosidic bond. In case of sucrose, the bond is alpha 1 2 glycosidic bond, since the bond is formed between carbon 1 of pyranose ring and carbon 2 of furanose ring. Now, sucrose is not having any free aldehyde group or free ketone groups here, because actually in case of fructose, the ketone group has to be existed in carbon 2, and in case of glucose, free aldehyde group has to be existed on carbon 1. Both are fused and giving us a complete disaccharide, that is sucrose. Sucrose, because of not having any free aldehyde or ketone group, it is also called as non-reducing sugar, because there are no any other free ends to bind with another type of molecules. So sucrose is also called as non-reducing sugar, but maltose is termed as reducing sugar. So this is about sucrose. Next, coming to lactose. Lactose is made up of glucose plus galactose. Next, coming to lactose. Lactose is made up of glucose plus galactose.